Hello everybody, I'm Carrara and welcome to another walkthrough. Today I'll be looking at a December 2016 bronze problem from USACO and walking you guys through my thought process while looking at it and solving it for the first time. So let's jump right into it. Cow signal. Bessie and her cow friends are playing as their favorite cow superheroes. Of course, everyone knows that any self-respecting superhero needs a signal to call them to action. Bessie has drawn a special signal from a sheet of M by N paper with 1 is less than or equal to M is less than or equal to 10, and 1 is less than or equal to N is less than or equal to 10. But this is too small, much too small. Bessie wants to amplify the signal so that it is exactly k times bigger. 1 is less than or equal to k is less than or equal to 10 in each direction. The signal will consist of only the decimal and x characters. So let's now look at our input. The first line of input contains m, n, and k separated by spaces. The next m lines each contain a length n string, collectively describing the picture of the signal. And finally, we have to output km lines, each with kn characters, giving a picture of the enlarged signal. Okay, so we're given a grid, an m by n grid, and then we have to expand it by k times. Is that right? Yeah, okay. So what I think we could do is basically store our original signal and maybe just run the loop twice for each time we have to make a character. So let's say that we have our line is x, x dot. So we basically just store that, right? And then we would have to have that our x gets printed twice, our second x gets printed twice, and then our dot gets printed twice. But then we also want to expand it in the other direction as well. So we would make it twice of the exact same line. So basically we have an algorithm now. And now let's try extending it to a bigger test case. So let's say that it's 2 x's and a dot, and then 3 x's. So basically the algorithm we developed is that we have to do x twice, dot twice, and then do that again, and then we repeat the process for the second one. We have an x, so we do that twice. We have another x, so we do that twice. And then we have another x, so we do that twice. And then we repeat that all over again. I'm not going to bother writing it out because I'm lazy. So let's jump into the coding because I think we have a good algorithm. Alrighty, time for the fun coding part. I'm going to quickly skip through me adding the f because that's boring, and then we'll come back and do the algorithm. So the next important matter is basically adding in our instance variables, which are m, n, and k. And then we also have to add in our way we're going to store the grid. And we can actually store that as a Boolean array because it turns out that we only have two options, a dot and an x. So basically we make that into a grid, and we're given that m is less than or equal to 10 and n is less than or equal to 10, so we can make it a 10 by 10 grid. Alright, now we have all our storage set in place. Now we have to read it in. So I'm going to do it with cins first so that we can debug on our own program before we make it fins for the actual submission. So first we have to cin our m, n, and k, and then we have to cin our grid, which we can do with a nested for loop. Now that we have our fancy for loop, we could do some fancy stuff with our input, and basically we have to read in each line individually. So let's first make somewhere to store each line as a char array. So char c, let's say, is equal, and then we could cin our c. And then now that we have this, we could oh whoops, I forgot to define how long it is, but we know that it can't be more than 10, so let's just make it 10. And then now that we have our line, we can now iterate through it, and basically if it's a dot we make it false, and if it's an x we make it true. So if cj is equal to dot, then we set it to, sorry, this should be a char, then we set it to false. We set our grid ij to false, and then otherwise we set it to true. So basically now we have all our input read in. So now we should go through and actually implement our algorithm. Whenever we're printing out our grid, we have to print out each character 3 times, and then we have to repeat each line 3 times. So let's first do it so that we print out each character 3 times. Or rather, actually we should first do all our lines. So we have to repeat this n times. We have to repeat this m times because there's m lines. But then we also have to repeat each line. We have to repeat it k times, so we have another for loop. And then within this, we have to look at each of the n characters. And then for each character, we have to repeat that k times again. So let's do that. Okay, nice. That's a nice quadruple for loop. But now that we have that, we can start doing our code. So we want to print out grid of IA because our I is iterating from 0 to m and our A is iterating from 0 to n. And we basically want to print that each time we go through a for loop. Oh, sorry, wait, we made this a boolean, so we would have to first check if it's a dot. If it's false, then we print out a dot, and if it's true, then we print out an X. Alrighty, so we have our printout, but we also want to have separate lines. So after each time we go through one line, we should see out an endl, which would go right here, because that's after we do our single line. And now, theoretically, this should work. I'm not sure. Let's just test it out real quick. Let's copy and paste our input, and let's put it in here. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be working, so let's see what could be the problem. I think that the problem is that we should probably make this a string. Let's try that. And let's try this again. Oh wait, it actually worked. Never mind. It was just being extremely slow. So, okay, so it's working. So let's undo that and let's just keep it how it was before. Nice. Okay, so now we're ready to submit. So let's convert everything to fouts and fins and we're ready to go. Okay, now we converted everything to fouts and fins, and now I'm going to submit. Let's see if I got it right. Hopefully I did. I usually don't get things right on the first try. Hey, it worked. That's all for today's walkthrough. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you guys want me to solve any other types of problems from other competitions like AMC or even like USACO or USACO or USACO, just let me know in the comments below and I'll do them. If you enjoyed the content, hit the like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching and see you guys next time.